Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for the week of September 9th. This week, you start off with this Stars card. It says, a long journey brings rewards. And you also have this wolf. It says, beware of who you trust. So let's see. I would definitely be careful of who you trust. I don't think the Seven of Swords is as bad as most people make it out to be. It's actually meant to be a good card. It's a golden card. Golden cards in the tarot are meant to be positive no matter what. But what I would say is that, again, with that card and the Seven of Swords, I would, be careful of anyone who seems sneaky or who seems like they're trying to get one over on you here. Although it is a very positive reading so far. So, again, I'm not sure that this is that big of a concern for you here, Leo. And I would definitely, like I said, I wouldn't, worry too much about it. Although you have the devil at the end here. I will say that the devil is coming up in the area of the good stuff. So again, I wouldn't worry too much about this, but let's see. You have the Seven of Swords, the Six of Cups, and the Chariot. This could be a person from the past that you're dealing with that Six of Cups. So again, I would be careful of trusting that person. I kind of feel it's kind of funny that you have the Hierophant and the High Priestess, and then Hierophant and the Devil. It's almost like the Angel and the Devil. Really, the Temperance card would be the Angel and the Devil. If we had them next to each other. But the Hierophant and the High Priestess is like true divine counterparts. I look at those two as better than the Emperor and the Empress. So if you're attracting love into your life at this time, I would be careful of any past connections. One thing I will say for Leo is you always get cards like this. The Seven of Swords is about doing things differently. Like I said, I really, really think the secret sauce for you, Leo, is going to be doing what you've been doing, like in work, business, career, otherwise in all areas of your life, and to upgrade it or update it or, do things in a different way. That's where your success is going to come from. I think that if you don't, I don't want this to sound bad, although for some of you it might be uncomfortable, right? But it's like if you don't upgrade things or change things, then I think you could experience the universe doing it for you. Let's put it that way. And so the Seven of Swords just says, is there a better way for you to do the things that you do every single day? And if the answer is yes, or, even if you're saying no, there isn't, well, I would do some research and I would find a better way to do whatever it is that you're trying to improve. You have the Six of Cups here. Six of Cups can, represent innocence and nostalgia, can represent thinking about the past. So a lot of you could have a lot of thoughts about the past, or you have been thinking about the past. And, again, I always say to Leo that it's kind of like one of those things. I feel like Leo feels this on a very deep level. Like you could be saying to yourself, 10 years ago, my job was so much easier, or 20 years ago, I made so much more money, or, whatever the case may be. And it's like, that's true, sure. But at the same time, I think you have to be a little bit more forward-focused, future-focused at this time, because it's like things are changing. And so, I'm not getting any of the traditional messages on the Six of Cups. It's more saying to me that, the times have changed. It's time to evolve. And even you have the Chariot, and the Chariot kind of represents the same thing. The Chariot is leaving behind everything that he has known. He's leaving behind that city behind him, and he's moving in a new direction. He has no clue where he's going because, he just doesn't know. These two Sphinxes represent the mysteries of the universe. And so the whole point of the Chariot is that he is trusting that if he stays in alignment with what he wants, that he will be led to what he wants. But, he has to stay in alignment. So he has these stars up here, these moons right here, represents as above, so below. And, I feel like I say this to you every single week, but obviously it's important. I would make sure to do things that get you into alignment with what you want and that put you in a good headspace, right? And again, if you're doubting things or being negative about things or, whatever, then you're not in a good headspace. So I would make sure that you are developing the habits of success in whatever it is you're trying to be successful at. I would also learn new things, like I just said to you, because I really feel that upgrading your skills is going to make you a little bit unstoppable. But you have to upgrade the skills. So let's see, especially in work or business for you here, Leo. But again, overall, pretty good reading. You end with the Sun, which is your card, puts you in a position of power and strength. With the Seven of Swords, you have the Five of Pentacles. See, I think this is a person that can't let you go. I feel like I've said this to you before, that some of you might have like a person that's like in your energy field. And I don't think this person is going to do anything weird or creepy or anything. But it's like sometimes I think it's best to like block a person, right? Especially, it's like sometimes I think, after a breakup, like you try to be friends with a person or whatever. But it's like, is it really the best thing to do? For the most part, I say no, because, I mean, my thing is if people challenge me on this all the time, and I always say, okay, text your ex right now and tell them that you're naked in your bed, right? I guarantee you, it doesn't matter if they are 6,000 miles away. I don't care if they're on Mars. They will teleport their ass to your bedroom. I guarantee it. So it's like people love to tell me how they can be friends with their exes, and it's like, sure, are you the exception to the rule? Maybe, but for the majority, it doesn't work that way. And it's like someone will always want more. And I get the feeling of like if you're still talking to an ex or something like that, it could be causing more problems than it's actually solving. So I'd be careful. With the Six of Cups, you have the Chariot. The Chariot and the Six of Cups would be embracing that playful energy, a more playful energy, being more childlike, being more excited and enthusiastic about changes, being excited about new beginnings. But Chariot is definitely a victory. With the Chariot, you have the Hermit. The Hermit says that you've been on a long journey, like you've grown quite a bit. And, I think you need to realize that. The growth aspect of your life, and I feel like you need to realize like how much you have grown. At a certain point, we have to make changes, because if let's say you've had the same job for 20 years, and which I always say to you, Leo, right? It's like if you are doing the same thing that you've been doing for 20 years, you're just staying stuck. And so I feel in a lot of ways like your readings always basically say that it's time to take something to the next level. Even we go up to the Hierophant, and the Hierophant is the true teacher in the tarot. And I think I've said to you before that it would be an amazing time for you to like be a teacher, but you don't have to be a teacher like at a school. You can just by, taking what you've learned over the years and applying it to something new, or starting a business on your own, or getting a better position, or whatever the case may be. Those are all ways that you can do that. Next, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this Commit card and this Inspire card. I think it's better to inspire than it is to teach. So a lot of you could even be taking it to another level where instead of teaching, you are inspiring. And people always say, how do I inspire? And I always say, just live your life, right? When I did, I spoke in Texas at Unite the Light back in May, and someone asked a question. I don't remember exactly what they asked, but they were basically saying, I have all these people in my life, and I tried to share my spiritual knowledge with them, but they don't listen. And I said to that person, doesn't matter, right? You cannot control other people. The best thing you can do is live your best life, and people will naturally want to learn from you when you do that, right? Because you're living an amazing life. So I said to that person, I said, just live your life, live the teachings that you want to teach, and become the example. And that's the best thing you can do. Some people will listen, some people won't, but it's like you can't control anyone or get them to do anything. So there's no use in trying to teach people who don't want to listen. Just create it for yourself, right? And I feel like this is saying commit to the things that you think, it's like, here's one thing I will tell you, Leo, right? As I always say, I love Leo. I live with a Leo, my brother, and he's more like a, I think last time I said he's like a barnacle that's just attached to my ass. He won't go anywhere, right? So I'm stuck with him. But also, my dad, my aunt, my two cousins, and just so many Leos in my life. And I think that sometimes Leo has these rules that they think that the world should live by, or has these rules that they think other people should understand, and they don't. And so I feel like the thing for you to commit to is those rules for yourself, and then show people that it's the right thing to do, but also release the expectations that people are going to follow the rules. You have the Fool, the Empress, and the Four of Cups. The Fool is about taking some sort of risk or leap of faith. I do feel like some of you could be taking a leap of faith here. It's like something having to do with the world. You have the World and the Queen of Pentacles showing up here, so this could have to do with your finances, that you're kind of like taking some sort of risk. I almost get this feeling of a little bit of a Hail Mary, where you could be doing something a little bit out of left field, and I feel like that would be really, really good for you, Leo, and I feel it'll lead to a lot of success. You also have the Empress, so again, very attractive at this time, Leo. If you're looking for love, I would definitely get out there. The Empress, and again, you have the Hierophant and the High Priestess, which could be a divine counterpart. We'll talk about it in a minute. But I would also say I think it's more, I think birth is more important for you because we go down to the Empress, to the World card. The World card is a card of birth to me, and she is birthing a new world. This sorceress in the middle of the World card, she has the ability to create worlds, and she can do this, with like her wands. And she has a magician's wand. She also has another wand. It's more like her creating the world with her actions. So I think it would, it is time for you to create your vision in the world. You have the Four Cups. I think this is just one of the challenges, is the disappointments. I think letting go of the disappointment of other people is the trick here, right? And so I think Leo has been disappointed by people in general, not just love either. I'm talking about all areas of life. And I think that these disappointments are meant to teach Leo. I just get this intuitively, that I think these disappointments are meant to teach you, again, that you have to be the example, right? And it's like people aren't necessarily going to follow your example, but it doesn't matter. Because if you are living your example, then you'll be living your best life. And I feel like that's what the Four Cups is kind of asking you to do, is asking you to do. So, there you go. With the Fool, yes, you have the Four Cups. This could also represent doing something again. And, I literally feel that if you're about to do something for a fourth time, that it is going to be very successful for you this time. And so don't give up is what I feel like the Four Cups is saying. I think that there's been a lot of this like remolding type of energy. Normally, again, I would love to see Temperance come up in this reading because it is very much giving me a Temperance vibe. This reading, I said it at the beginning. Temperance to me is like, sometimes I feel it's like being given a blank piece of marble that you're just trying to turn into a statue, like a beautiful carving or something like that. And I get that feeling from this reading where it's like you've had to go back to the drawing board many times in your life so far. And I don't care how old you are, whether you're 2 or 90, doesn't really matter. I think that no matter how long your life has been, you've had to go back to the drawing board and recreate things. And I think you're recreating something one last time, but like bigger and better. So I definitely wouldn't give up on whatever you're doing. With the Empress, here you go. You have the High Priestess. So we have the High Priestess twice. The Empress is also a very intuitive card, so it would be a great time to trust your intuition with these two cards here, and kind of like trust your gut as well. And so that's really pretty much all I get there. With the Four Cups, you have the Tower. Every single person has had the Tower. So, there's probably going to be some sort of global Tower moment this week or some sort of shocking surprise in the world. I wouldn't worry too much about it. One thing I will say is, like I said, I feel that, I don't remember where I said it, maybe up here, but I feel that some of you are going through a transition or a change. And remember also what I said about like a forced change. Sometimes I think that if we don't make the change, the universe will make a change for us. And so I feel that the Tower is saying, don't let the universe make a change for you. If you are sitting there with the Four Cups, like he is, disappointed with what he has received so far, and he's got a new offer in front of him, but he needs to take that offer and, manifest that new offer into the world. And I'm not just talking about a love offer here. This could be anything. And it doesn't even have to be an offer. It's like, if you have recently gone through a change in your business or your career or wherever in your life, this can say that you need to kind of reinvent whatever that thing is. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this Ultimate Fulfillment card. It says, you are now entering a time of peace, happiness, and emotional fulfillment, but you have to believe it. I'm going to add that part to the end. You have this Aquarius card. It says, Rebellion. It says, think outside of the box and stretch the boundaries of what could be. Yes. You have the Hierophant as your first card. The Hierophant is a card of thinking inside the box. So clearly it would be a great time for you to think outside the box and to come up with new ways of doing things, research new ideas. We're entering into the time of Aquarius, right? Your opposite sign. So your opposite sign, Aquarius, is all about innovation, new ideas. Sometimes I think that we are definitely meant to, work with our opposite sign, which for you is Leo. So we have to work with that energy because it's our opposite. So it's like you need to learn how to innovate and, come up with twists to the things that you're working on and doing, especially in work or business based off of this reading. And especially with anything having to do with your abundance, but it could be any area of your life. You have the Hierophant, the High Priestess, and the World. Again, I do feel that some of you could be attracting, look at this, on the bottom of your clarifying deck, you also have the Hierophant there. But the Hierophant is about inside the box teaching. And so he does teach things. And this isn't necessarily a bad thing, but the Hierophant is about your vision. He can communicate with heaven and earth. He communicates with both sides, and he can bring messages from heaven down to earth. So a lot of you could be doing that, or you could be feeling spiritually led or spiritually guided at this time. But I think sometimes things get lost in translation, or sometimes we take messages too literally, or something like that. And I'm getting something here about like needing to take the things that you feel you should be doing in your life and twist them. Don't be afraid to experiment or try new things. I think that will be very helpful for you. And also, again, I think it's definitely time for you to be like an inspiration to live your truth. You have the High Priestess. High Priestess is about embracing mystery. There is a theory, and I don't actually know if I believe this or not, but it is popping into my head. There is a theory that her back is to the world, that she is kind of like shutting out the noise of the world so that she can focus in on what she is trying to do. And so, again, some of you have the world here. Maybe you need to kind of like take some time to rest, relax, recover, heal, meditate, kind of listen to yourself, your inner voice. And I think all of that would be good. Listen to your intuition, of course, as well. I also feel that the High Priestess is, I think I said the Empress, but the High Priestess is a great card for visualization. She has these 3 stages to the moon right here on her helmet. And those 3 stages kind of represent the fact that she sees the beginning, middle, and end of something before she enters into it, but she isn't necessarily seeing it intuitively. She is visualizing what she wants to happen. So I feel like visualizing would be a good thing for you. You have the world. So the world is like an accomplishment. You show up right here on the world, so you're showing up in a strong position. I do feel you are kind of creating your own world at this time, and that should be your focus. But again, it's like you can only you can do this. It's like you cannot get other people to do anything. And I get the feeling from this reading that it's saying, like, be careful of needing other people to be a certain way for you to be okay, right? It's like when we move past that in life, that's when we find true success. When we don't need external circumstances to look a certain way. And I would definitely encourage you to do that. Yep, here you go. With the Hierophant, you have the 7 of Cups. Again, the vision, right? This is a card where he is seeing his dream. We have all these cups here. Some of them, they're good things. Some of those cups have bad things in them. But he's just visualizing something that he wants. But he needs to find out how it's actually going to go. So he needs to, manifest this vision down on earth for him to be successful. And, that's what I would do. With the High Priestess, you have the 2 of Swords, very similar to the High Priestess in some ways. And I feel that the 2 of Swords is saying that you need to trust your intuition. She has that blindfold on over her eyes. And the blindfold in the tarot can represent needing to tap into your intuition to find a solution. So the 2 of Swords is all about this or that thinking, like thinking that things can only be this or that, but you never know. There might be like an intuitive answer to a problem or situation you're dealing with, and that following your intuition could lead to success. With the World, you have the Page of Wands. Yeah, definitely stepping into a new world. I feel like you're feeling more enthusiastic, more excited, more motivated in the future. The Page of Wands is very excited, enthusiastic, motivated for the future, and he kind of just follows his inspirations to success. So it would be a great time for you to follow your inspirations. Next, you have this Moon rising. It says truth on it. Yes, I think you need to live your truth no matter what. You have this new moon. It says beginnings on it. So there clearly is like a solid new beginning that's coming in for you. And again, I feel like you need to trust your inner truth here. You have the Devil, the Sun, and the Queen of Pentacles. I do feel like some of you are embracing the truth about a person. Again, like we talked about this past person, I don't think this message is for all of you, but for some of you, I definitely feel there's a past person where it's like it would be better, like as mean as this sounds, I think it would be better to not engage with them because it's, I think there's like some sort of attachment there. And again, this doesn't have to be I don't do drama tarot. I don't care. And I don't think this has to be something super dramatic or anything like that. But, it's like sometimes some people just don't get it, and by talking to them, it's like you're kind of leading them on, is the feeling I get here. And again, I'm not saying it's your fault or anything like that, right? But I just feel for some of you, and if this message is for you, I feel like it resonates. So if that part doesn't resonate, not for you. But if it is, then again, I think it would be better to kind of like cut this person off. And not again, people always come at me when I say these things, and I'm not saying this is a bad person or anything like that, but again, facts are facts, right? You have the Sun, which is your card, and so the Sun is really good. The Sun is the best card in the tarot. It makes the whole entire reading more positive, but I think you are kind of like stepping into your light here, Leo, and I feel the Sun is shining on you. Like there's a lot of positive attention that could be coming in for you with the Sun, and I feel like there could be a lot more happiness as well. You have the Queen of Pentacles, and the Queen of Pentacles is about resourcefulness. Pretty much everyone gets the Queen of Pentacles with me nowadays, and we are definitely in a time where I feel like we have to be resourceful, and we need to make sure we're not like wasting energy or doing too much, right? And that's what I would say of the Queen of Pentacles. Just be resourceful, plain and simple. And sorry, this deck is not cooperating. With the Devil, you have the Ace of Cups. Yeah, this could be a new person though. I do feel like some of you could be attracting a Capricorn or someone who has a lot of Capricorn in their chart. So if you're looking for love, could be an earth sign. It does kind of give me the vibes of like a very earthy person that you're attracting. So again, they might not be an earth sign. They could just be very grounded in reality, or, it could just be a person who is very earthy, right? With the Sun, you have the Strength card. So definitely you showing up in a very strong position in the reading. Whenever you show up as yourself, it puts you in a position of power and strength. And you show up 3 times right here: World, Sun, and Strength. So you have developed all these skills. But, the Sun even would say it's time to be an inspiration, which I feel like you are doing. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Page of Cups. Yeah, it could be an admirer that's coming in for you, or it could be a person. I would say that love is kind of in the background here. Let me just put it this way, Leo. I feel that there are probably more important things for you to be doing right now that you're working on. So I get the feeling that you're pretty busy, but again, that doesn't mean that love isn't available to you. And again, I do feel like you could have an admirer, or you could be a secret admirer. They could be the secret admirer. Sometimes I feel Page of Cups is like a little bit of a secret because he is dreaming of that fish there. We don't know, again, but that fish might not exist. That fish might be part of his imagination. And you have the 7 of Cups here. So some of you could be imagining something about like love with a person. And yeah, that's it. I don't know. Go for it, I would say, Leo, or whatever. It looks pretty good to me. Sure, we'll take this card too. You have this box card. It says you will be receiving a gift. I think it's the gift of freedom, but really you're giving the gift to yourself by, setting yourself free, not needing people to be a certain way. And, I think that's the biggest gift you can give to yourself. You have this success card, so there is definitely success coming in for you. You have this dog barking. It says advice from a friend. Yeah, I think there is plenty of advice. It seems to be a very social week, I will say. You actually don't have any cards of socializing in this reading very much, but, pretty much everyone else had a lot of cards of socializing. So if there are people who are important to you, who you get good advice from, I feel like this could be good advice. You have this dogs card. There you go. It says getting together with friends. So I take that back. There is a socializing card here, and a lot of you could be doing a lot of socializing. You have this caterpillar card. It says things will not always be this way. A change is coming. And then I felt like I need to pull this extra card, and it says April. So between now and April, I feel you could be making some big changes in your life. You know what else is really funny here, Leo? I feel like some of you could be moving. You have the Tower in the World, but maybe you don't even know that you're going to be moving yet. So mark my words. If you move in the future, I'm the one that told you that even though right now you're saying I'm not going to move, in the future, by April, maybe things have changed and you will move. And again, if you're not, that's obviously not going to be true for all of you, but you are definitely undergoing a transformation. I kind of feel like some of you are in caterpillar soup still. Butterfly, caterpillar turns into caterpillar soup when it's in its chrysalis, then it turns into a butterfly. So it's kind of like you are in that melting down stage in your life where, and I'm not saying things are melting down, although for some of you, maybe it seems like things are melting down or collapsing. And there's a lot going on in the astrology. Pluto in Capricorn, 29 degrees. We had all this energy in Taurus, which I think, there's like a lot of Taurus stuff that sometimes we hold on to. I'll just give you an example, not to drag this reading out, but it's like when I moved, they refused to deliver my pod, and I've told this story before for like a ridiculous reason, right? So I had to get rid of everything, that I owned, and I started over when I moved here again. And what's pretty awesome is like I have nothing except my bed and like my office, all this stuff here, and that's like it. So I'm basically living in an empty house, and you know what? I actually really like it. And so again, that is that all the Taurus energy we dealt with, I think that's very Taurus. All those planets that have left so far, and Uranus will be leaving at the end of 2025. I think that is very much like that cleansing, getting rid of that stuff is very much that, Taurus transition energy. So I wouldn't be surprised if some of you have been getting rid of things or if you're thinking about it. But, really good reading, Leo. I love this. So thank you for being here and definitely enjoy your week.